Hello Internet, welcome back to another episode of Pokémon Generation 1. In the last episode, we took the long way here to Fuchsia City, and this time, we're going to be exploring the city, seeing what there is to do here, and maybe taking on the gym if we have time. To start off, this house. Bill files his own Pokémon data on his PC. Did he show you? Why? Safari Zone's warden is old, but still active. All his teeth are false, though. Okay. Are any of you gonna say what I think you are?
You met Bill? He's my grandson. He always liked collecting things, even as a child.
I'm sure you will not be the source of any annoyance in any future games, sir. Yeah, Bill's family lives here in Fuchsia City. I don't know. I just think that's a neat little detail. This house is just here to taunt me, because in Fire Red and Leaf Green, the move deleter lives here, and man, there's no move deleter in Gen 1, and it sucks. Fuchsia City Pokemon Gym, Leader Koga, the Poisonous Ninja Master. Okay, that sounds a little too badass, but that's fine. We're gonna head over here, to these houses. Safari Zone Warden's home. We've already been into this house, this is where the Good Rod was, but in here, what the hell is, why is there a rock and some bushes in here, man? What are you doing? Pokemon photos and fossils. That's not what those look like.
Hello, Fifi, Hafafiho. Happy free. Happy free.
Okay.
Yo, Ify Hafafiho.
So you can actually kinda tell what he's trying to say, but not entirely. You can't understand him because he doesn't have teeth, I suppose. Yeah, it's just neat, cute little dialogue. We don't really have to do anything there yet, but if we head over here, what do you have to say?
Safari Zone has a zoo in front of the entrance. Out back is the Safari game for catching Pokémon.
Alright. Fuchsia City, behold, it's passion pink! It is, they have a point. Pokemon Paradise, Safari Zone. I doubt it, but we'll get there. Why is this guy named Eric?
Where's Sarah? I said I'd meet her here.
Name Slowpoke. Friendly and very slow-moving. Looking at the Pokemon in this, Fuchsia City Zoo here will actually register them in your Pokedex as seen. Name Chansey. Catching one is all up to chance. I'm not looking forward to this. Because that sign isn't wrong. Name Voltorb. The very image of a Pokeball. We already have seen Voltorb and caught one. That item ball in there is really a Pokemon. I know, I have one. Okay, what is in this building? This isn't the building I thought it was. Having cut is, like, very important to making Fuchsia City navigable, because for some reason there's just cut trees all over the place. They really just wanted to make this the least walkable city in the game. Slowpoke is very knowledgeable about Pokemon. He even has some fossils of rare extinct Pokemon. Okay, so is he talking about the Pokemon or a guy? We nicknamed the warden Slowpoke. He and Slowpoke both look vacant. Okay. You know what? That is some work culture you got here. Slowpoke came in, but I couldn't understand him. I think he's got a speech problem. I think you should call a hospital if he's talking the way he was. It's just a picture of the Phantom mask from Super Mario Bros. 2 or the puppet from Five Nights at Freddy's 2 on the wall. Can't really check any of the papers on the tables in the city, which sucks because I want to know what they say. I like snooping. Continuing on with our exploration of the zoo, though. There's no sign for this one. And this just leads back out of the city. Future me, don't even bother with the border for that one. This might be the worst city to navigate in the entire game. Okay. Name Lapras, aka the King of the Seas. Yeah, that's a good-looking Pokemon. I like Lapras. It's one of my favorites. Did you try the Safari game? Some Pokemon can only be caught there. I haven't yet. Yeah, for some reason the Pokemart is all the way here in the middle of the zoo. Did you try X-Speed? It speeds up a Pokemon in battle. I have not, because I have had need to. Do you have a Safari Zone flag? What about cards or calendars? Okay. Well, this Pokemart sells 2 new items. Ultra Balls, which are, you can guess, and Full Heals. They heal all non-volatile status conditions, meaning Poison, Paralysis, Sleep, Burn, and Freeze. These don't heal Confusion in this generation, but still useful to have. Now, Ultra Balls are a stronger, with an asterisk, version of the Great Ball. Okay, Future Me, have fun editing this. We have another, like, slideshow presentation to give. The way Ultra Balls and Great Balls work is weird. One isn't necessarily better than the other. They both have uses in certain situations and are both worth carrying. A Pokemon's catch rate has been on every biome, but I never really explained it. It's a number from 1 to 255, and the higher the number, the easier the Pokemon is to catch at default. There are also multiple ways to increase this value, inflicting a Pokemon with a status effect, lowering a Pokemon's HP, and using a stronger Pokeball. There are 2 tiers of status effects. Tier 1 consists of only Sleep and Freeze, while Tier 2 consists of Poison, Paralysis, and Burn. The impact of the tier is a flat increase on the catch rate, depending on the Pokeball you're using. The weird part is, status effects are absurdly good for catching Pokemon. They increase in greater values depending on the Pokeball. If you put a Pokemon to sleep, for example, that adds more than 21% to the catch rate if you're using an Ultra Ball. Basically, putting a Pokemon to sleep gives you a 1/5 chance to capture a Pokemon regardless of what their base catch rate is. HP on paper actually does nothing to influence the catch rate, until it's combined with the different types of Pokeballs. Every Pokeball has an HP threshold. That threshold is around 1/3 for the Pokeball and Ultra Ball, but for a Great Ball, it's 1/2. Lowering HP increases catch chance only until you hit the threshold, and lowering it any further will have no effect whatsoever. Now, the ball used. When you select a Pokeball, a random number is generated. This is used in all calculations for a capture. The number is between 0 and 255 for a Pokeball, 0 and 200 for a Great Ball, and 0 and 150 for an Ultra Ball. A lower number is better in this situation, so this makes sense. The issue is, well, if you try to catch a Pokemon with a catch rate higher than your number, you don't get any benefit whatsoever. So for the Great Ball, any rate over 200 adds nothing, and for an Ultra Ball, a catch rate of over 150 adds nothing. There's also a ball modifier for every Pokeball used in the calculation. That number is 8 for the Pokeball and Ultra Ball, but 12 for the Great Ball. This is why the Great Ball's HP threshold is earlier, and means the Great Ball is stronger than the other ones by default. Lastly, RNG. Long story short, Pokeballs always work as intended, but they suck. Great Balls underperform against Pokemon with high catch rates, but are always the best option on Pokemon with lower catch rates. And Ultra Balls underperform significantly when a Pokemon has high HP, but perform extremely well when it's at low HP. They're also worse than the box standard Pokeball against Pokemon that have a high catch rate. So, when you throw a ball at Dugtrio and it says the ball missed, what does that mean? Well, it just means the ball didn't shake at all. That's just how the game shows that in Gen 1. The number of wobbles actually tells you what your catch chance for a Pokemon is at any given time. If it misses, you have under a 10% chance to catch it. If it wobbles once, you have a 10 to 30% chance. If it wobbles twice, you have a 30 to 70% chance. And if it wobbles 3 times, you're at 71% or more. As a result, if you throw a ball at a Pokemon like Dugtrio and it wasn't wobbling and you did nothing to change that, and you see the ball connect, you know for a fact that you succeeded in capturing it. The best strategy to catch Pokemon is to have a Paris that knows Spore and carry a lot of Great Balls. It sounds lame, but that's the way. The Ultra Ball does have a use, mostly against Pokemon we haven't even seen yet, but overall, just stick with Great Balls. If you want a more in-depth and easier to understand explanation, I recommend the video Catching in Gen 1 is Really Confusing by Lyra Made a Website. It taught me literally all of this, and I would not understand it at all if their video wasn't as detailed as it was. Anyways, we are going to head slightly norther now because there's more Pokemon exhibits. Name Kabuto, a Pokemon that was resurrected from a fossil. That is not a shellfish. What are you? Kangaskhan, a maternal Pokemon that raises its young in a pouch on its belly. We've seen you. It's worth noting that this Pokemon will be different depending on the fossil you took in Mount Moon. Up here, I believe that is just the Safari Zone. Where is the girl called Sarah? I'm so confused on why that guy was named. On what Eric, that was his. Why was he named? Where is Sarah? He said he'd meet her here. I literally did laps around the entirety of Fuchsia City, like multiple laps, and I did not find any NPC with the name Sarah. I think Eric got stood up. Poor guy. Okay. Anyways, any norther than we already were, and we'll reach the Safari Zone that we've heard about, which we're going to be exploring later. For now, we're just gonna head back south, because it's time to take on the Fuchsia City Gym. We got some pretty good training in on the routes on our way here, and our Pokemon are all level 35 or 36. This is definitely more than strong enough for this, so yeah. We are going to head in. Wow, short gym. Never mind. There are quote-unquote invisible walls. You can sort of tell where they are because of the, like, pixels in these tiles that make up the walls. But weirdly enough, this is easier to, like, notice that they're... I don't know, it's just easier to tell where the walls are when the game is in black and white. Yo, Champ and Macon! Fuchsia Gym is riddled with invisible walls. Koga might appear close, but he's blocked off. You have to find gaps in the walls to reach him. Yeah, so this gym is an experience. Let's see. Strength isn't the key for Pokémon. It's strategy. I'll show you how strategy can beat brute strength. Juggler wants to fight. Hypno. So from this, you would think that this is a Psychic-type gym, which we are not, like, equipped to handle. But no, this is not a Psychic-type gym. This is a Poison-type gym. The main issue with that is that most of the trainers here are going to be using Psychic and Ground-type Pokemon. Oh my god. You're seeing now why it knows Psychic? You're seeing now why Psychic types are so scary, especially when they're evolved. It just outspeeds and kills Annabelle outright, I think. Okay. Yeah. So the trainers using Psychic Pokemon that's actually pretty scary here. There are other side quests, not side quests, main story stuff that we can do right now in order to gain more levels before fighting this gym. But I just genuinely think fighting it now makes the most sense, and hey, this increases the experience we're going to get from this gym, so... I still have the EXP all in the part. You can see they're gaining 31 experience points. What? Extraordinary! Okay, true. I need to put that in the PC. You can see how bad the experience all is. It's a bad item. Oh, also a small correction. I said the TM for Rage isn't that bad in the last episode. Yes, it is. Using Rage in Generation 1 locks you into the move. So don't use this. Okay, I am back in the gym. We are going to actually continue and not die this time. I wanted to become a ninja, so I joined this gym. Well, he wanted to become a ninja and he became a juggler instead. That's just how it works out sometimes, unfortunately. So, jugglers in future games at least always have a chance of switching out their Pokémon. I'm not sure if that's the case in Generation 1 or not. There is AI in the game that will allow trainers to switch Pokémon, although it makes them switch at random, which isn't particularly good. But if jugglers don't do that, why does this trainer class exist? I mean, it even if it does do that, it doesn't make sense for it to exist because it's just such a specific trainer class. It's one thing for like an engineer trainer class, or even the rocker trainer class, which I actually found out while editing that video that rockers in Red and Blue specifically do use smart AI for some reason. Despite the fact that it was changed in Pokemon Yellow, so it seems like it was just a mistake. But like, rockers, jugglers, there's a lot of weird trainer classes in Generation 1 that just don't feel necessary. I think it's sort of understandable with, for example, engineers, where that is like a real job that you'll see a lot of... Oh! They do switch Pokemon! Okay, that's good to see. That's our first time actually seeing the animation of a enemy trainer switching their Pokemon, but... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like juggler, rocker, that's just something... It's a type of trainer class that they didn't really ever do again. Or it's more just a hobby. I mean, juggling can be a job, don't get me wrong. There are clowns, but these guys aren't clowns. He's done for. I also study the way of the ninja with Master Koga. Ninja have a long history of using animals. Okay. I don't like the way you phrased that. Oh! Tamer. I am gonna be honest. I forgot this trainer class even exists. Why is he holding a giant lollipop?
Lollipops.
Arbok. Okay. First poison type that we've seen in the poison type gym. I'm gonna switch Annabelle to the front of the party after this, probably. It's a little risky to keep switching her in instead of just having her lead, because she's taking damage every time, and it's also cutting the experience she's gaining in half. This is very much going to be Annabelle's gym, at least once we get to the gym leader. She isn't particularly good against psychic types, but against poison types, Dig is just a very strong move. I'm pretty confident Annabelle will actually just be able to solo the gym leader. That's how good the ground type is as far as, like, offensive capabilities go. Annabelle grew to level 36 from beating that imposter Sandslash and wants to learn Swift? Poison Sting is interesting in concept, having the ability to... having, like, a pretty decent chance to poison its target, but I've never used this move. This is a bad move, and Swift at least has the niche of being able to hit Pokemon that use, like, Dig or Fly, so I think I will replace it. I've never used Poison Sting, I'll probably never use Swift either, but Swift does have a niche at least. Leer. They're really hitting us hard with the crazy moves this late in the game. Alright. Awoo! Okay, man. Annabelle has been switched to the front, and this gym... Gyms are weird. The most gyms, right, are pretty straightforward, so far at least. Brock's gym, Misty's gym, and Erica's gym, despite the cut trees, like, they're not laid out like puzzles. They are just rooms that have trainers and a boss in them. And then occasionally they just throw in a gym that has a puzzle, and it feels like kind of out of left field. We're at the point of the game where gyms are generally going to be using puzzles, which is fine. It's going to become something that's more common in gyms, but I think it's weird that the game sort of starts out without puzzles. They throw in whatever the fuck Lieutenant Surge was up to, and then they go back to not really having a puzzle for one more gym, and then the rest of the gyms have a gimmick. In future games, pretty much every gym ends up having a gimmick, except for X and Y, where the gimmick is, ooh, the game is in 3D! Which, to be fair, was kind of mind-blowing for the series at the time, but I don't know. It's just weird. Whoa, he's got it! Who's got it? You impressed me! Here's a hint. Look very closely for gaps in the invisible wall. Look, dude. I already got that within seconds of coming in here. Master Koga comes from a long line of ninjas. What did you descend from? White people, mostly. So, I actually went ahead on Pokemon Showdown and looked at the tiers for every Pokemon I'm using. I said something about using one OU Pokemon on my team, and it turns out I'm actually going to be using two, because once Haunter evolves, Gengar is an OU. We haven't caught the other OU Pokemon yet, but otherwise there's two Pokemon I'm using that are in UU, and Annabelle is in ZU, which is a very low tier. Drop my balls! Okay, dude. Where there is light, there is shadow. Light and shadow. Which do you choose? Okay, dude, this isn't Star Wars. This is a Pokemon gym. I'm gonna go ahead and heal before fighting Koga. And also fight that trainer out in the corner, because he thought he could escape, but he cannot. Let's see you beat my special techniques! He's gonna kill me. Never mind, he's a juggler. He doesn't stand a chance. Lamp beat a Kadabra. Anger to level 36 for it. She's genuinely improving. You had me fooled! Alright, about what? Alright. I went ahead and healed and rearranged my team slightly. Let's fight the gym leader. A mere child like you dares to challenge me. Very well. I shall show you true terror as a ninja master. You shall feel the despair of poison and sleep techniques. He says sleep, but none of his Pokemon know a move that can put your Pokemon to sleep. Koga wants to fight. And is going to lead with Coughing at level 37, Poison type, knowing the moves Tackle, Smog, Sludge, and Smoke Screen. He also has 2 X attacks per Pokemon on his team, used randomly 25% of the time. I figured Lamp could probably handle a Coughing, so that's what I'm going with. Please don't poison right away, thank you. I know I'm going to end up getting my Pokemon poisoned in this gym, but I'd prefer if it was not this early in the battle. Muck is level 39 Poison type, knowing the moves Disable, Poison Gas, Minimize, and Sludge. I'm gonna confuse this thing and then get the hell out of Dodge. I don't think Lamp is going to stand a chance against Muck. And there goes the X attack. Okay, Sludge isn't a particularly powerful move, but the X attack is a little bit scary. Okay, I'm gonna switch into Haunter, and I think I'll go for Hypnosis. I know I said this is Annabelle's gym, but I do want Annabelle to sort of be a last resort. Hitting itself with Confusion with the attack boost is nice. Missed with Hypnosis, of course. But Poison Gas doesn't affect Gaster. Miss again. Hit itself again. Can we hit? We can. Okay, third time is the charm. It's asleep, it should still be confused, although it'll probably run out when it wakes up. Okay, we're level 35. Muck has a pretty high HP stat, which is what Nightshade hinges on. And it has a pretty low special stat. I think Thunderbolt will just do more. Yeah, that's probably more than Nightshade. But I'll finish it off with Nightshade just to conserve Thunderbolt's PP. There we go. Muck fainted. Gaster grew to level 36. Coughing, again. Level 37, Poison type, known moves Tackle, Smog, Sludge, and Smokescreen. It is the same coughing. Thunderbolt should just do decent damage. Probably won't knock out, but... Or Gaster can get a critical hit. Okay, there's that 20% crit rate. His last Pokemon. Wheezing, level 43, Poison type, knowing the moves Smog, Sludge, Toxic, and Self-Destruct. If he uses Self-Destruct while you're both on your last Pokemon and your Pokemon faints, it still counts as a loss. The game doesn't have an option for draws in single player. But honestly, there's nothing this thing can really do to Gaster, so... Man, we might not even need Annabelle for this. He's using an X attack. That's not really gonna make a difference here. This is also his only Pokemon that doesn't have a move that makes you hit less frequently. So he can't even do that. Will this just knock out? Not quite, but... Okay. Sludge could do a lot now. If we get a 1 in 256 miss, which we don't, of course. Okay, that was clean. That was a good run.
You have proven your worth. Here, take the Soul Badge. Now that you have the Soul Badge, the defense of your Pokémon increases. It also lets you surf outside of battle. Ah, take this too.
TM06.
TM06 contains Toxic. It is a secret technique over 400 years old.
Alright. In Pokemon Yellow... And that's being recorded like an hour later because I still have to go through both routes in Pokemon Yellow. Give me a break. Koga's looking a lot more... boring in this game. He has a unique sprite in Red and Blue. Why is he just like a generic businessman-looking guy now?
A mere child like you dares to challenge me. Very well, I shall show you true terror as a ninja master. You shall feel the despair of poison and sleep techniques.
He's not actually lying this time. He does have sleep moves this time. Koga wants to fight. And once again, he's going to have 2 X attacks per Pokemon used randomly 25% of the time. He's leading with Venonat, level 44, Bug Poison type, knowing the moves Tackle, Toxic, Sleep Powder, and Psychic. Yeah, he's starting off with a level 44 Pokemon this time. I decided to lead with Pikachu because I think Venonat is the only Pokemon Pikachu is really going to have a chance against in this fight. Koga's team is similar to other gym leaders based on the anime in Pokemon Yellow, so he doesn't have any of the Pokemon he has in Red and Blue. Pikachu, wake up, please. I don't think... Yeah, there's no hope anymore. Even if Pikachu wakes up on the next turn, I think it just knocks out with Psychic now. I was hoping for Pikachu to be able to do at least something. That's fine, though. I'm gonna go ahead and switch out to Snorlax. And... Jesus fucking Christ, man. Yeah, so he does have sleep moves this time, and that is in fact very annoying. Snorlax is already usually asleep. It does not need extra sleep on top of that. Please stop. Like, Snorlax's HP is so high that, like, any hit from Psychic hardly matters, and Tackle is so weak that that doesn't matter either. It's literally just annoying for Snorlax to stay asleep. Snorlax learns Body Slam at level 35. This is a very strong move. I could use this right now. However, most of his most powerful attacking moves are special-based. So Amnesia wouldn't be a bad move either. Yeah, I think I'll set up with Amnesia in this Venonat. This is his weakest Pokemon. I think this just makes sense here. I can use Amnesia a couple times, then use Rest to get my HP back, and then from there, Snorlax can probably sweep. It does lower special, like, 33% of the time with Psychic, which can just undo in Amnesia if it happens again. Okay. We are at +5 special. Let's go for a Rest. Yeah, that was a good move, actually. Rest was a great move, because now we have Toxic Poison, but if we use Rest, we just get ourselves completely healed of status condition and our HP goes back to full. Now we just have to survive 2 turns, which is easy with the boost from Amnesia. Even if it gets a critical hit, it won't do that much. Okay. Yeah. No, this gym was well played. I say was, maybe a little bit too early, because we are still on his first Pokemon, but let's just go for Body Slam. It is going for Toxic now, which is slightly concerning, but that's fine. There we go. We can use Rest again if we need to. Venonat, level 46, Bug Poison type, knowing the moves Toxic, Psybeam, Supersonic, and Psychic. He may have multiple of the same Pokemon, but at least they actually have different movesets in this game. Will we one-shot? Probably not. Okay, Snorlax! Growing to level 37, deservedly, I'd say. Venonat, level 48, Bug Poison type, knowing the moves Toxic, Psychic, Sleep Powder, and Double Edge. I don't even need to rest yet. I did not go into this expecting this to be the Snorlax sweep. I was expecting Charizard to sweep here because he's sort of a dual poison bug gym leader in this game. But no, Snorlax is just that good. There goes Venonat. His final Pokemon, Venomoth, level 50, Bug Poison type, knowing the moves Toxic, Psychic, Leech Life, and Double Team. His levels are definitely higher in Pokemon Yellow, but overall, this team is sort of pathetic. Although, if this crits, that could actually do serious damage. But it didn't crit, and we have it down to about half health from a single use of Body Slam. I'm not even going to bother using Rest. Also, it's a little weird that he uses X attacks in Pokemon Yellow when his strongest attacking move on all his Pokemon is Psychic. Okay. I think Snorlax faints this turn. Unless we hit. Damn it. I knew it was gonna miss when he used Double Team, but it would have been hype as hell if Snorlax managed to get the sweep. Okay. I think Charizard is my best bet to finish this off. Look at that awful back sprite. Okay. Fire Punch, probably? Toxic is annoying, but I prefer that to Sleep Powder, which you don't even have. There we go.
You have proven your worth. Here, take the Soul Badge. Now that you have the Soul Badge, the defense of your Pokémon increases. It also lets you surf outside of battle. Ah, take this too.
Once again, the Toxic TM. That's going on Venusaur in this game too. The TM we got for winning is Toxic, as he said. The amount of damage Toxic Poison does goes from 1/16 damage at first, which is lower than normal poison, until 8 turns have passed where it's guaranteed to knock out the opponent. The damage counter also stacks with Leech Seed, meaning Leech Seed will deal more damage every turn a Pokemon is badly poisoned, also healing more in the process. Leech Seed's damage isn't reset if a Pokemon is healed of the poison either, meaning it will also knock out guaranteed in 8 turns. This is going on Hiket, no questions asked. And in fact, this is the final move I have planned for Hiket's moveset. This is just blatantly superior to Poison Powder in every way. Hiket learned Toxic. We've gotten our 5th badge! Next time on Pokemon Generation 1, we'll be heading into the Safari Zone to the north in order to drastically increase our options as far as where to go next is concerned. See you guys then.